Hi, I'm going to talk about two particular type of assessment tools that could be integrated in the classroom regardless of content or grade level. So for the two assessment tools that I have selected, let's start with the first one is Socrative. And when you go to Socrative, you will see a student login and a teacher login. So obviously, the teacher will log in one. And the great thing about Socrative is that students don't have to have an account. Um, what they will do is they'll just simply go to your room number. So you can see mine at the top. There we go. So you can see mine at the top of the Dean 6237. My students would just type that in and then simply they will have that. Now, the thing about Socrative is it is a user-friendly way to provide effective feedback, and it gives immediate feedback to both the students and the teacher, because the student can or the teacher can share that information. The data comes in various forms, whether you decide to print it off and show the students question by question analysis of what they have missed, or export it in um, an Excel document for data purposes as well. The one thing that I really like about Socrative is that you can pick the type of question. So where other platforms may only limit you to multiple choice, this one provides true or false or short answer, which is really neat. It also allows you can import your own quizzes. Um, you can have a space race, which is really neat. It's a more of an interactive, competitive way, same format, but still more of a game, which allows students. It'll allow students to kind of see their feedback in live action. And then the neat thing is, let me go out of this. The exit. Okay, there we go. So the ticket out the door, what's really neat is this is you can say, um, you can see your class total and they can go to those questions. So you can click on it and you can say, how did you understand today's material? Go through that way. You could even at the end, maybe you decide you have a question on the spot that you want to add. You can do that verbally and then students can select it that way. So Socrative is a great way to provide a feedback for that. The other assessment tool that I have selected is Nearpod. And as you can see, I have actually used Nearpod before. I would like to integrate it more, but I have selected more. So this is my library. You can create an account. But what's neat about Nearpod is it is a student platform that provides interactive lessons for students. And really, the sky is the limit with these. However, you want to design these. There's also lessons already designed that you can modify, which is what I do a lot. Um, kind of just modifying that wheel. So, for example, let's say, I want to look at covalent bonding, and I can decide if I want to do a live lesson, so I'm guiding it with my students, or I can do a student pace lesson with my students, but just kind of preview it for you. It's really interactive because the students aren't just going through a PowerPoint. They can have questions that actually send it to the teacher, so you can use that. So, here I use this at the beginning of a lesson to front load some things. But what's neat is, and my students really like this, they can actually draw in what they think the answers are, and et cetera. So it makes it a little bit more engaging. But what I really like about Nearpod is I can make an authentic learning experience. Let me fast forward and I'll show you. So see, I actually created a lab for them digitally where they're watching this video, and then there's some questions on it. So it's if your time is limited or just the supplies are limited, it allows students to still get that experience when maybe they can't in the classroom. So like I said, Nearpod does give feedback, but it's a little bit more engaging for the student as well. You can also share student responses with the class if that's something that would be a desire. But for these, the teacher gets to decide both how you want to ask that. So I've even used in the past, I've used surveys, like you can see on here. Even in this one, there's open-ended questions that they can do where they type them in. So it's a little bit different that. But both of these type of assessment tools, both Socrative and Nearpod, allow for student and teacher pace, which is really neat. The one thing though that is a little different is Socrative allows for games where Nearpod doesn't. Nearpod is a lot more visual exploration. Whether you wanting to go to a virtual museum or whatever the case may be. I use and would like to use more of Nearpod, like I'd mentioned earlier, in a way to introduce content or to incorporate more lab demos. I would really like to use Socrative more to check for understanding at the end of a lesson, maybe as a way to review the lesson in the space rocket, or even um, as a way to, just check where my students are at, to provide a really good feedback, like with the exit when we got. Oops, let me go back. Um, with the exit out the door tickets as well. I think Socrative would be an engaging way for students to test their understanding. It's an effective way to check for understanding, whatever the case may be. If it's a simple 3-question quiz or just a review game. And Nearpod is a more student-directed way of learning new information or simply just reviewing content or concepts that students may not know. I hope that these assessment tools can be used in your classroom and you can find them beneficial as well.